Hello everyone and welcome back. In this section, we will uncover a few of the questions running through everyone's mind. What will happen to our existing Terraform code? Will we be able to reuse it? If yes, how complex will the migration process be, and much more? Let's dive in and witness the power of migrating to OpenTofu. Migrating from Terraform to OpenTofu is a simple and straightforward process. OpenTofu, being a fork of Terraform, is highly compatible with Terraform ecosystem, which provides the flexibility to reuse the existing Terraform codes. This is a great news for anyone who are planning to migrate their workloads from Terraform to OpenTofu. When considering best practices, there are certain steps to follow. Now that we have our infrastructure provisioned and managed by Terraform, the state files are in place and tracked by Terraform. The first step in the migration process will be to make sure that there are no pending planned changes. If there are any, make sure to apply them using Terraform Apply. This is one of the best practices to consider during migration. Step 2 would be to make sure OpenTofu is installed, as we will be using Tofu CLI for managing our infrastructure using OpenTofu. In step 3, back up all your state files. This will help in case we need to roll back everything to Terraform in case of failures. Now, we are all set to kickstart the migration. Switch to the directory where Terraform code resides and simply run tofu in it. OpenTofu will download respective providers and modules inside .terraform directory from official OpenTofu registry. Once done, run tofu plan to make sure we don't have any pending changes. This is a crucial step as any errors encountered here will lead to a rollback to Terraform to avoid unforeseen issues in our infrastructure. Lastly, if everything goes as per plan, try to apply a small change to gain confidence with OpenTofu. Now, what if we encounter issues during OpenTofu migration? Don't worry, the rollback process is very simple. As always applicable in real world, create a backup of the state files. Run Terraform init for Terraform to refer to appropriate directory structure inside .terraform directory. Ensure no unexpected changes this time by running Terraform plan. At last, try to apply a small change by changing some non-critical attributes inside Terraform files. This concludes the rollback process. In case of any issue during migration to OpenTofu, you can raise your query and get the direction by joining the OpenTofu Slack or ask on GitHub discussions. Let's dive into practicals and see migration process live. Thank you, and I will see you in the demo. In this demo, we will create a simple Terraform code to create an EC2 instance and understand how to migrate Terraform to OpenTofu. So run Terraform version to ensure that we have installed Terraform on our environment. Now, create a directory named migration, switch inside it, and start creating main.tf. Define provider block with AWS and region as US East 1. Let's create a resource block like this. Let's check the AMI from our AWS console and paste it here. Next, let us define instance type as T2 micro and add a few tags like name, course name, and release. Our Terraform code is all set. Next, run Terraform init and initialize Terraform. The tree structure will look like this. We can see it's referring to registry.terraform.io, which is owned by HashiCorp. Now, inspect the plan by running Terraform plan. This looks good and is adding one EC2 resource as expected. Finally, let's apply the changes by running Terraform apply, confirm to apply, wait for a few seconds, and it's all done. Switch to AWS console to ensure the instance type is T2 micro and the provided tags are present. So we have the EC2 provisioned and managed by Terraform. Now our objective is to migrate the same to OpenTofu. Let's ensure OpenTofu is present by running tofu version. We have the latest OpenTofu version here. Next in the list is to copy our state file. We are using local backend here. So just run copy terraform.tf state to pre-migration Terraform TF state to create a copy. Again, as the best practice, let's run Terraform plan to ensure there are no pending changes to be applied before kickstarting the migration process. We are all set to proceed with the migration. It's as easy as running tofu init. You can notice the differences in the output here, which is referring to OpenTofu instead of Terraform. In order to see what all has happened, let's see the directory structure of .terraform. We can clearly witness we have two registries inside providers directory now. One is coming from Terraform, the other is coming from OpenTofu, which OpenTofu will refer post migration. Upon successful initialization, next we will run tofu plan to make sure that there are no errors and no pending changes from the past. It looks good for us. Wonderful. Our migration has been successful. Lastly, before we apply large critical changes, it's always a best practice to perform some simple non-critical changes. Let's open our main.tf file and change the instance type to T2 small. And let's add another tag with IAC equal to OpenTofu. Save and exit. Let's run tofu plan. So it's showing the in-place updates and changing T2 micro to T2 small. Also, as we see, it's adding a new tag named IAC2. Run tofu apply -auto approve. It started doing the changes. Let's wait for some time to get the changes applied. Here we go, all done. Let's switch to the AWS console and verify our changes. EC2 instance type is T2 small and the additional tag is here. Last, you can test the removal of the provisioned resource using tofu destroy -auto approve. Let's wait for a few seconds to get the changes applied. Here we go. Let's switch to AWS console and verify there are no EC2 instances now. Finally, if you encounter any issues, you can raise your query and get the direction by joining the OpenTofu Slack or ask on GitHub discussions. Just switch to OpenTofu documentation, introduction, and here you will see migration to OpenTofu. Scroll down and here you will see the links for Slack and GitHub discussions. So you can follow the same approach and process to migrate your simple to complex Terraform workload to OpenTofu with ease. We hope this demo was useful and we will see you in the next section. That concludes this lecture. We have covered the process of migrating Terraform to OpenTofu with simple example. In the next section, we will dive into OpenTofu variables. We will look forward to seeing you there.